Hey there friends, today is video number 1 of my new series on homemade cleaning products. And in this first video I want to talk to you about fruit and vegetable washes. Fruit and vegetable washes are actually really important because they help disinfect the food that we're going to eat, from different viruses and bacteria and things that it may have picked up along the way, whether it's from the soil that they were grown in, the individuals who are, harvesting those things, packing and shipping, even other customers who are, picking out their own vegetables. They could have also touched them and gotten different types of germs and things on them. So it's actually really important for us to wash our fruits and vegetables, whether we eat the skins on them or we don't. Many people in the United States probably remember several years back when there was a listeria outbreak on the cantaloupe where people weren't washing the outside skins of their cantaloupe, and when they would cut through that cantaloupe, they would actually drag that bacteria from the outside in through the cantaloupe. So washing even things that we're not going to eat the skin on, cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelon, things like that, is actually fairly important. And then the other reason why people use fruit and vegetable washes is to cut through the wax that many agricultural companies put on it to either make it more appealing to people or also to keep them from drying out. Many of us are aware that the apples that are super shiny are covered in a food grade wax. Well, of course we don't want to be eating that stuff, so we need to wash it and get it off. So my recipe here includes the base recipe, some different disinfecting liquids that we can choose depending on what you have on hand, what's most readily available, whatever's least expensive, etc. So any one of these will work. Just choose any one that you want. The first is hydrogen peroxide. The second one is distilled white vinegar, just a regular 5% acidity, the regular one. And then the apple cider vinegar. You can choose any one you like. My personal favorite is the apple cider vinegar, though I have made it with the others when I was out of the apple cider vinegar, and they all do work the same, so whatever you like. And then the second part of the recipe either uses soap, a liquid Castile soap. Make sure that it's not one with conditioners, things like, shea butter and cocoa butter and things like that that are designed for skin and to be conditioning and softening on our skin, because that will actually leave behind a film of its own, which the whole point of it is to remove the films, not to add a new film. And then the second option for cutting through that waxy buildup would be essential oil, and this has to be a citrus essential oil. It can either be like lemon, lime, or orange, whatever you have on hand, whatever's least expensive, whatever you like the scent of, can be any one of your choice. Most commercial fruit and vegetable washes do use the oil to cut through the wax. So again, that's the one that I choose. And I have orange, so that's the one I use. I use apple cider vinegar and then the orange essential oil. But again, any one of these will work, and I have used them at various times depending on what I have and what's available. So the first portion of the recipe, which my base recipe actually makes a fairly small amount, and the reason for that is the different size bottles that I've used over time, and that would also apply to you as well, because you could, if you don't have a bottle available, you could buy a smaller bottle, if you don't think you'll use it that much anyway. You could buy a larger bottle if you're going to be using it a lot, or if that's what's available. Or you could reuse any other cleaning bottle that you would like to. We reused this fruit and vegetable wash bottle, which is kind of in the middle size. So the base recipe is 1 cup of disinfecting liquid, any one of these 3, and then either 1 teaspoon of the liquid Castile soap or 3 to 5 drops of the essential oil. If you've chosen the essential oil, every time you go to use it, you're going to want to shake up the bottle before you spray it on your fruits and vegetables so that the essential oil can get reincorporated, because it will have a tendency to float to the top of the liquid. But that's the basic recipe. It's very simple and easy to make. I personally recommend, if you're going to be using the same bottle, just when you're using it, you can measure out the ingredients maybe the first time. This is just a quick tip to make things easier, because I'm constantly making this stuff and I want to make it as easy as possible and have the least amount of dishes after having to do this stuff as possible. Measure out how much your bottle holds on the base disinfecting liquid, like say, this is where the 2 cup line is or whatever. You could draw a little line on your bottle there. That way when you go to add it to your bottle when you're making your cleaner, you just fill it up to that line instead of having to measure it every time. And then, add the either soap or the essential oil or whatever. And then if you're going to be using it in a sink full of water, like say you have something like leafy greens or something that you want to wash all at once submerged in water, make sure you use at least 1 tablespoon per 6 cups of water. And then if you're going to be using it on anything else, fruits, vegetables, any type of, even thick-skinned vegetables and things, or fruits, make sure you spray it on, leave it for a few seconds, and then you can use like a scrub brush or your hands, anything, you have available. And it also depends. I'll probably use my hands if it's, not a waxy apple, but if it's a real waxy apple, I might scrub at it a little better with like a toothbrush or something like that. One that's dedicated to this purpose, not being used by anyone else, of course. And that can help also remove the wax and things like that. And then after the few seconds of letting it set on there and scrubbing at it, you rinse it off and everything's perfectly safe to consume with no worry of any pathogens making us sick or anything else, and the waxy buildups will be removed. So I hope you found this video helpful. Stay tuned for the other homemade cleaning product videos that are going to be in this series, and thank you for watching.